George Bruner, a composer, technologist, director of music technology at Brooklyn College. I think what makes a musician is somebody who loves music. My mother is a musician. She loves to play the piano. She's not a professional. She doesn't play in public. She doesn't make money. She's not a professional musician. But she has as much love for the piano as anybody. And she would just, if she had time by herself, she would just sit down and play the piano. She can't read a note of music. She'll play by ear, and she can pick up any tune. She hear it once, she can sit and play. There's a very interesting similarity between the top people in different types of music. So you can take a top person in bluegrass, and a top person in rock, and a top person in classical music, and if you get to know them, you might discover that they have a lot more things in common than you would think, because you think these worlds never come together. And maybe in some ways they don't. Their audiences are different, and at the audience level, people might say that, oh, I like rock music, and somebody else will say, oh, I'm not going to listen to that. I don't want to listen to metal, I want to listen to bluegrass. And then the classical guys will say, well, I only want to listen to classical music, so I only follow these guys. But in fact, you might find that those guys who are top performers in those three different areas of music really do have a lot in common and may know a lot about each other also. And there are many, many examples of that. I think that there are people that continue to practice and cultivate the craft of music, and they're good at it. I think that for a lot of people, like the fact that there's software involved and there's hardware, there are a lot of machines involved in music today. I don't think that makes music. There's no automatic music. You still have to humanize it, and so the skill level is still there. It just may be applied in different ways. So there's a new generation of people that are at college age now and older that are doing amazing things with machines and humanizing machines. But because somebody uses a software doesn't mean that they're less good at music. You know, there are people that sort of fake it. They want to make it, and so they may have a like top 40 type dance presentation. They may not be a great singer. They may use auto-tune. They may use other things to make them sound better, but their show is really more about, it may be more about dance, or maybe more about the presentation or the actor of the show or something like that. Those people will always be around. Is it great music? Not necessarily. Is it sort of quasi-canned music? Maybe. There are always starving artists. Every era has had starving artists. And in the classical field, I guess we're a little bit lucky because some of us can get jobs in universities, and that sustains our art. And in popular music, it's very difficult. It's extremely, extremely difficult to do something and have a life in music. You can struggle for years and have a day job. I mean, it's every restaurant in New York is full of somebody like that. A lot of people have said musicianship skills don't exist as much as they used to because there aren't any, like, maybe they think there aren't the great clarinetists like Benny Goodman or Artie Shaw or people like that. The thing about music, and this is not just about being popular, about getting popular, but I think if you want to survive in music and have a career, whether you're in classical music, whether you work at a university, whether you work in a restaurant and do it, it's probably the equivalent of working 2 or 3 jobs full time, because it's that amount of dedication and determination. And never, ever look at comparisons. It's really not different in any field, except other fields have a wider berth, a broader scope of employability. Music has a narrower scope. People are certainly much more willing to pay a medium-level doctor than they are a medium-level musician. So people want the best of the best. They want that high skill level. Look at how they move their fingers or how they sing or how they do that. But the fact that working in a conservatory, I have the opportunity to see what happens to people who go through here who don't make it to the top of their field. And there are places for them. Many become choir directors in churches, many teach in local music schools. Some of them piece together 3 or 4 different jobs and have a life. They may work harder than like a 40-hour-a-week job, but they're happy doing what they do because they're playing music.